Here we are, Pam Johnson-Bennett. Welcome back to the Community Cats podcast to a Ask Me Anything Facebook Live evening here on Monday night.
Well, that could be dangerous.
Where's our partner in crime, Arden Moore? Her ears will be burning because I feel like we need to a drink in our hand or something.
We'll have to channel her in spirit.
Channel our inner Arden. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I know we have a special obligation. We want to share some things. I think it was last November when we last got together, we were talking about a campaign that you were involved with Arm & Hammer, really trying to identify some wonderful cat stories. People were to submit their stories. There's chances for prizes. Tell me a little bit. I think that whole program has all wrapped up. Tell me a little bit about what's been going on.
It is wrapped up in November. Cat lovers who had adopted perfectly imperfect cats, and those are the ones either they get overlooked because of age or appearance, medical issues, behavior, or sometimes bonded pairs. People just want one cat and the shelter doesn't want to separate bonded pairs. And so cat lovers were invited to upload pictures and videos to Arm & Hammer's Feline Generous site to inspire people to adopt cats who are labeled perfectly imperfect and to just facilitate adoptions and show how wonderful they are. And they picked 5 winners, and the winners received they'll receive a year's supply of Arm & Hammer cat litter. And the shelters they nominated each received $10,000. So that was a $50,000 donation. And so far, that is the largest single donation by Feline Generous. But it's really about spreading the word about perfectly imperfect cats. And this was their Happily Forever After campaign, so that people could share their stories and their pictures and videos about how these cats are living happily forever after. And the 5 cats who were picked, and they had over 5,500 contributions, people had uploaded. So I don't know how it got decided, because to me, everyone is a winner no matter what, because of how much love you receive. But these cats, we have Elvis and Louie and Buddy, and then another Elvis. And so those were the 5 winners.
I noticed one of the kitties had CH, I believe.
Yes.
What is CH?
Yes. Cerebellar hypoplasia, and that is where the cerebellum of the brain fails to develop, and that happens when the mother is infected with panleukopenia, and so it's not painful. The cat there's motor skill issues. The cat has trouble balancing. You may notice wobbly heads. There are a lot of little coordination issues, but it is not painful and it is not contagious. And these cats live wonderful lives. It becomes almost comical to watch them, and how they don't realize that they have this disability, and they just go through life wonderfully. And in terms of them being perfectly imperfect, with those kind of cats, whether it's a behavior issue or medical issue, it just takes a little extra patience and maybe a little imagination and extra TLC to help them integrate into the home environment. So I think these cats, and most especially Elvis, the CH kitty, they're an inspiration.
Yeah. What? So you talked about a little extra TLC. What are some of those tips and tricks around the litter box for maybe an arthritic cat? I got a phone call earlier this afternoon about a woman who, her cat, she's 2 cats that she's been feeding in her backyard for 14 years, 2 ferals. One of them has finally gotten to the point, slowed down, having some medical issues that need some care and attention. And so they're actually bringing them into the house, the 2 bonded pairs. And, with the arthritis and everything, they're having litter box issues. And so, they were working with 1 litter box with 2 cats. And so I know that might be an alarm, but what do you say with people who might have older cats that have difficulties, or cats just have difficulties moving around?
Right. And it can be a mobility issue. It can also be a cognitive issue. You know, you have an older cat who doesn't remember where the litter box is. So my advice would be low-sided litter boxes for cats who have mobility issues, and more litter boxes, because the cat may not be able to, it might be too painful for a cat with arthritis to go all the way down the hall, down the stairs, you know, and into, you know, the laundry room to use the litter box. So just make it more convenient so that it just more litter boxes, and the little extra effort on your part in terms of more litter boxes to check and clean and maintain pale in comparison to the quality of life that you give those cats.
The person I spoke with today too, she was using wheat or corn litters. Do you have a preference in what the texture of the litter should be, especially if there is a cat that is maybe not so excited to use the litter box?
Well, I like a soft, sandy, scoopable litter for cats because that is most like what they would use outdoors. And it's easy for the cats to dig and cover. It's easy on their paws. Cats can have texture preferences. So sometimes the litters that are the alternative litters that are kind of rough or have larger pellets can be uncomfortable for cats. So stick to what is closer to nature, and that is a soft, sandy litter. And a good scoopable litter makes it easier for you to maintain the litter box because we know cats want a clean litter box.
When you say clean litter box, how often should we clean our litter box?
You should scoop the box at least twice a day. And that's not only about keeping the box clean for the cat, which is important, but it's also an opportunity for you to check what is or isn't happening in the litter. And that's very important. You can see signs of maybe the urine clump being too big or too small, you know, than normal, or not seeing any feces in there. Then you should also completely empty out the litter and wash the box if you're using scoopable litter at least once a month. And
So if the litter box is all scratched up, it's time to change the box?
right, and try to get the same type of box that your cat is already using. And what I recommend is that you not completely switch out the box, that you put the new box next to the other box and let the cat get used to that one, and then you can get rid of the older box. But I write the date on, and this was not my idea, so I can't claim it. I heard someone else did this, and so I've stolen it. But I write the date with a permanent marker on the bottom of my litter box of when I've replaced it. So I kind of know, hey, it's been 3 years, you know, time to replace it.
Sort of like people change their sneakers out, the runners, you know, they
Right.
have a certain 100 miles or whatever it is. I'm not a runner, so, but but what I hear is, you know, it's either like 6 months, every 6 months, or every X amount of miles that they run, they decide they need to
Right.
change their shoes. I don't know why that just entered
Well,
into
you know,
my
and the
mind.
thing is, you have to remember the litter box from our point of view, it's not a fun thing. You know, we tend to want to put it in a place where it won't be seen. We don't really pay as much attention to it, but it's a really important part of a cat's life. So you want to make it convenient and appealing and clean for the cat.
Mhm. Yeah.
And there are many times I go into house calls and the litter box, you know, for this huge Maine Coon 18-pound cat is a litter box that's really meant for a kitten.
I've had older kitties that have had kidney problems, and even with the clumpable litter where I thought I had a lot, they were peeing a lot. If you see a cat peeing a lot so that the litter really can't even clump, that there's so much there, it's time to take the cat to the vet, right?
Right. My philosophy is any change is a potential red flag. You know, if you notice that scooping twice a day doesn't seem to be enough, or the urine clump is larger or smaller, or obviously if the cat is eliminating outside of the litter box, or you're hearing vocalization when the cat is in the box, any change in behavior, and that applies across the board, not just litter boxes, you know, in terms of personality, eating, anything, is a potential red flag. And cats are great at communicating those red flags. We just don't pay attention.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you a question. This is not an advertisement session. I'm not getting compensated for this in any way, shape, or form. You've worked with Arm & Hammer for several years now with this
Mhm.
with this campaign. Why?
They it's my heart. They just fill my heart with the Feline Generous program, because it's about raising awareness for the cats who are normally overlooked. So it's a win-win, because shelters get money, uh, and these cats hopefully get adopted into forever homes. And just because a cat has lost an eye in a fight, or has some kind of vision problems or mobility problems, or maybe has a misunderstood behavior, that's not a reason to just bypass those cats. And there are so many with this Happily Forever After campaign. There are so many happy endings, and you're missing out if you're passing up these cats. And if people want to learn more about what Feline Generous is going to be doing in 2023, visit felinegenerous.com, and you can learn more about the future campaigns.
Excellent. Wonderful. That's great. Pam, you and I, we're going to be together in April for
Yes.
a day with our good friends, Dr. Rachel Geller, Arden Moore, and Tabitha Kucera for Online Behavior Day. I'm so excited. The dream team of feline behavior will be showing up then. It's a second Saturday of the month, so I think it's April 8th. I think it's April Fool's Day is going to be our TNR workshop, so we'll have to think of something fun to do on April Fool's.
Oh, just leave that up to Arden.
So we will have you on April 8th, and what will you be talking about at Online Behavior Day?
I'm going to talk about how cats think, because we misunderstand behaviors because we look at them as the cat doing something wrong. And we miss the fact that cats are very smart. And when a behavior is being displayed, there is a very logical reason for it. So if we learn a little bit more about how the cat's brain works, I think you could have a better relationship with your cat. You could avoid problems in the first place, or find better solutions for solving the problems that you are experiencing. So we're going to get into those cute little furry brains.
Excellent. Wonderful. So folks, if you're interested in finding out more about Online Behavior Day, feel free to go to communitycatspodcast.com. Just click on our events tab and scroll down and click right on the Online Behavior Day, and you'll find everything there. We've got everything all set up. Schedule's all set, so you know everything that's going on. It's wonderful, fantastic. And this weekend, we're also going to be holding the Online Cat Conference, which will be 3 days of education starting on Friday night. We'll also be online Saturday all day, Sunday all day, with a big focus on community cat programs and how to start a community cat program, how to have a community cat program within your organization, or how to help cats in your own community, how to turn your passion for cats into action by helping the cats in your backyard. And I wanted to ask you, Pam, a question. I mean, in all the years that you've been working with clients and with folks in the community and with shelters, consulting and working with shelters, is it different working with community cats or cats that are outside for a long period of time and brought into the house versus cats that may have kind of always been indoors? Is it different working with those cats?
You have to build more trust. And so that requires a lot more patience. And you have to recognize the tiniest of baby steps with ferals, with community cats, or even strays, cats who were owned but got lost or left outside, abandoned. They have trust issues. So, and it's not a bad thing. That's what keeps them alive. So you have to earn their trust, and that can happen very slowly. But as you know, with all the work that you do, the tiniest baby step is a huge victory, because they have no reason to trust us.
Right. And there's such a wide range of different types of cats that are outside all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There are cats that are indoor, outdoor. There are cats that are somewhat owned by the neighborhood, right? So I just came back where a situation where, cat's owned by one person, that person is at work all day long, the cat's outside. So he ends up hanging out in another person's apartment during the day when, the lawyer is off doing at the office. And it actually works out great. And the cat's having a wonderful time. But, so these quasi-hybrid sort of ways of owning cats. Is it true that a lot of people feed cats that they don't necessarily know that there's an owner to them.
Right, they do, and a lot of times the cats, are so smart in terms of maybe you have an indoor-outdoor cat who is on a prescription diet, or you're trying to put that cat, on a weight loss program, and you let that cat outside, and that cat knows if he goes 3 doors down, someone's going to have really tasty, fattening food for him. So when you let your cat outdoors, you really can't control what's going to happen, on so many fronts. But dealing with indoor-outdoor cats, dealing with community cats, I really applaud everybody. I am so in awe of everyone who works with community cats because of the patience and the trust. And in many cases, you do so many battles against people to continue to do that. But, the cats need everybody.
If we want to transition a cat to being indoor only, what would you say your top 2 or 3 tips would be for them for a successful indoor integration?
Don't rush the bonding process. We tend to think, okay, here you are, you're coming in from the outdoors and, a life of fighting and dealing with the elements and starving. Now you have this great home, appreciate it and let me love you. And we tend to rush that. And so let the cat set the pace in terms of what kind of steps to take. The first thing is create a safe area for the cat and let the cat kind of decompress and get comfortable with that environment because it's totally new. And then work slowly on the bonding. What I tell people, even if you're doing a new cat introduction, with 2 cats who have never been outside, let the cats set the pace. We tend to just always be in a hurry. We want to get to that finish line. And there's really no deadline. Take it, let the cat earn the cat's trust. Let the cat feel comfortable with every step. And that's how you.
I've heard the term, and last question, I promise, because this is turning into a master class, but I love your answers always. I just am such a great fan of yours. Feline enrichment. I've heard that term used a lot. What does that really mean?
It has to do with providing opportunities for cats to engage in normal activities. For example, I think cats should be kept indoors. It is the safest place for cats. But when we bring them in, very often they don't have anything to do. So, when you think of life outside in a perfect world for a cat, it would be hunting, enjoying the sun, climbing a tree, scratching on the tree, all kinds of fun adventures. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is for cats outside. But when we bring them inside, we need to give them those opportunities, places to climb, a safe litter box area that is clean and appealing, toys to play with, hunting opportunities with toys, not real prey, but to let them go through that sequence of stalking and pouncing and capturing. So enrichment is just letting the cat be the cat through all these different adventures. And that's nowadays, I'm so grateful to so many companies who have created great enrichment opportunities through puzzle feeders. There are so many opportunities now for cat trees and cat shelving and walkways, that are really good quality and they can fit any budget. So there are a lot of things that you can do. It doesn't have to break the bank to create more enrichment for your cat. And I would say the number one thing is to address behavior problems. Start right there so that, if you are experiencing, litter box problems with your cat, or if 2 cats in your house are not getting along, or your cat is very frightened and doesn't come out from under the bed, address that. That really affects quality of life.
Excellent. Pam, I want to thank you so much for joining us on our Facebook Live here at the Community Cats Podcast. You wanted to share one last word about a feline generous?
I encourage everyone to visit felinegenerous.com. It is an online platform that really focuses on adopting out perfectly imperfect cats. And it's an opportunity to connect people with local shelters, but also to help facilitate monetary and product donations. So there's so much information there. So if you'd like to learn more, visit felinegenerous.com. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. And folks, if you're interested in joining us this weekend at the Online Cat Conference or at our future events at Online Behavior Day with Pam and Arden and Rachel and Tabitha, feel free just to check it out at our website with the communitycatspodcast.com. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and turning your passion for cats into action. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.